All right. Hello to everybody out there. Hopefully, you can see and hear us all just fine and dandy. This is our first spring hangout for Manchester University. Today, we're going to be talking more about making friends and really making that transition to college. That's one of the things most people really worry about. So, this is a good time to ask those questions. And if you're not listening live, and you just happen to be watching this on YouTube later, uh, this is a great time to kind of learn more about Manchester and about making that transition. One quick thing here, if you want to ask questions while watching live here, all you have to do is use the Q&A button. There's an app for that in this. You can go ahead and click Be a Part of the Conversation in the bottom left corner of your video. If you don't see that, there's a grid in the right-hand corner of your screen. You can go ahead and click that and choose the Q&A panel. So right off the bat here, I'm just going to introduce myself and let everyone else introduce themselves. We have 3 current students, 2 of our admission staff here as well. My name is Will Patch. I'm going to be your moderator. I graduated from Manchester back in 2007. I'm now Associate Director for Admissions Operations and Social Media Coordinator. So I'll let you each, how about Leslie and Chelsea first, then Tobe, Mo, and Adam.
Hey everyone, my name is Leslie Bailey and I'm a 2013 graduate of Manchester and I am an admissions counselor here. I specifically work for students from Allen County, Adams County, Whitley, Wells, and Huntington counties. So welcome.
Hello, my name is Chelsea Teddy. I'm a 2014 graduate of Manchester. I'm also an admissions counselor here at Manchester, and I work specifically with Lake and Porter counties, and then Boone, Johnson, and Clinton counties.
Hi everyone, I'm Tobe, a current student here at Manchester University. I am currently a sophomore. I'm from Nigeria, political science political science major, and yeah, student senate. So.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Adam Gibson. I'm a sophomore here at Manchester. I'm an athletic training major, and
I'm Mo Ramel. I'm a sophomore. I'm on the dance team, and my major is psychology, and my minor is art. So welcome and good luck and have fun.
That's great. Thank you. Let's just start off with the first question here. Were you really nervous about making friends in college? I know that's something a lot of people worry about. So were you one of those many?
So the first week of campus, I wasn't really super scared, and making friends isn't like a really big deal. Like, it's not hard here at Manchester. We're very community-based, and I really like that concept. So the first week, you have this group of people that you get to know, and you hang out with them, and some of them are still really good friends with me, and so that was really easy for me.
All right. So coming here, definitely being from a far place, it was nerve-wracking. But once I literally landed, everything was a different atmosphere. So I really didn't find it difficult to make friends. And my roommate was a great person, so that was like my first friend in the whole school.
I came from Oregon, so quite a distance, but I had spent the summer on Manchester's social media page, our little, now it is called the Chet. It wasn't the Chet when I was a student, but so I had already been talking with people and getting to know admitted, accepted students, so I made friends before I even got to campus, which was awesome.
So for the second question here, what did you really do to make friends? What are some tips you have to help other people with that?
Well, what I did to make friends is I never just really stayed in my room. I really got out. I went. We have activities here on campus. We have clubs that students can sign up for. Sitting in the lunchroom, you can just sit with random people. I know I have done that. You can just make friends with them on the spot. Just make sure you're not staying in your room. Make sure you're getting out, meeting new people.
For me, it was a little different. I was involved in basketball last year, so I played on the women's team here at Manchester. And so my first friends came from the Manchester basketball women's team. So I got to meet a lot of girls through that. And then my roommate at the time, we decided she was also in track. Not we decided, but she was in track. And so I got to meet a lot of the track people as well. So that was really cool. So a lot of my friends are more athletes and that sort of thing. So if you're an athlete, you can do that as well. But you can also meet other people from classes and also within your major.
The greatest time to actually make friends for me was during Soul Week, because that's when I got to meet people who weren't just international, because we had a different orientation week. So I got to meet everyone else, and my Soul group was my first group of friends. So going for all your Soul group meetings, that's the best way to actually get out there and meet your fellow freshmen.
Another thing that Manchester does the first week of school is the activities fair. It happens once in the fall and then once in the spring, and it's where all the clubs and organizations set up a booth, and you can go and get more information and start learning how to get involved on campus. And our students will talk about they've already talked about some of the clubs that they're involved with, and I'm sure that'll come up later on about different clubs that are available here on campus.
Yeah, I just want to ask one follow-up question here. So Tobe, I mean, we have several international students viewing right now live. We'll probably have quite a few more later. Can you talk a little bit about the international orientation process?
Okay, basically we have to come in a week earlier, but we do that so we can have all our documents in or things we need to stay here basically. And they help us register for our classes because we don't get to do that when we're back there. We get our rooms, we get to meet other internationals, we go for breakfast. They give us our own mini tour just so we're ready before everyone comes in and let us know about the rules that are applied here that you probably wouldn't know back home or things like that. So basically it's just a way to break that wall that you would have coming to a different place.
Great, thank you. Just a reminder here, if you do have any questions, you can use the Q&A panel and ask those questions, send them in. We'll be able to get those answered here a little later. Next question, what did you do to connect with your roommates?
So I went random my first year here, and so since I'm a sophomore, just to clarify, and it went really well. Basically, you have like a survey is the best way I can describe it, and it talks about your study habits, your sleeping habits, how clean you keep the room, your personality, that kind of thing. And then they try to compare you with somebody that they think would work with you to stay as a roommate. And it worked really well. It was great. I loved her. But then, sadly, she decided to transfer. So I got a new roommate, and I asked my best friend from the basketball team that I met from the summer before, and so we decided to become roommates, and we've been roommates ever since. So sometimes it works out that your roommate will be like your best friend, and it's awesome because I call it the roommate gods are amazing, and they put you with people that are like great people. And then sometimes, you find somebody else, and you're like, man, let's room together because we're friends. So it just depends.
All right, so the way it worked for me was, well, my roommate was amazing. I really, really, really loved my roommate. We bonded. Everything we did was similar. We both had messy rooms, so the room was messy half the time. But she wanted to move to a different residence hall, so I didn't want to go there. So she went there, and I stayed in East. So now I room with one of my soul sisters. So we were friends during our soul week, and now we're roommates. I think that's pretty awesome.
Great. Oh, and I guess what are the 5 residence halls? Can you tell us a little bit about those and where you live now?
Right now, I live in Oakwood Hall, which is right behind the chapel or in front of the chapel, if you want to say that. We also have Schwalm Hall, which is by the Science Center. We have Garver, which is next to the Perk. Also, East is next to the Perk. And there's also Hellman, which is kind of on the other side of campus next to Administration Building. Like I said, I live in Oakwood, and I love it.
I live in East, and it's my favorite, but that's just because that's the one I've lived in the past 2 years. I live on the 3rd floor, so I rep the 3rd floor, even though, it's a couple flights of stairs. It's all right. I don't mind it. I love East. It doesn't have air conditioning, and you can't have a microwave in your room, but I still make do, and I don't like sweat to death, so I'm okay. But I love East, and I just love the atmosphere, and the people in it are really great, and I love that. And so that's why I decided to stay for a second year at East.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, like Mo, I also live in East, and basically everything she said, I love East. It's the best. Everyone should just go there, except you, Adam. You're not invited.
Uh, what are some of the clubs to join, and how do you get involved in a club?
So to join clubs, Leslie kind of touched base on this earlier in the video. Basically, they have a huge club fair organization thing, and there's over like 80 different tables of different clubs and organizations that you can join. And so basically, if you're just intrigued by it, or you're like, man, I really want to do this club, you just sign up, put your email down, and you'll get the email for the rest of the year. You may even get it for the next 4 years if you sign up. They're big sticklers on that, but it's pretty cool. So a couple of the clubs that I'm in, there's a Disney club. So basically, we watch Disney movies and we color pictures, and it's so like easy breezy, but it's fun. It's something to do throughout the week. I'm also on the dance team, so because it's kind of like a club, but it's not a sport, so it's a club sport thing, if you will. And so I did that, and I love it. And so every couple of weeks or every couple nights a week, I have dance practice, and then we actually dance at the home games here for campus during for basketball season. So I've done that, and that's kind of the things that I've joined.
What I do, I know athletic training students. We joined the Manchester Athletic Training Club, and the professors kind of set up different people to come in and talk with us about different opportunities that come available for us. Also, I recommend you go to the activities fair because they do give a lot of free stuff and there are a lot of cool stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm part of the Student Senate. I guess it's a club, but it's like a they pick you kind of club. I'm also part of the ASA and BSU. That's one of the clubs that are part of the Intercultural Center, which is a place where if you're international, you're going to know what the Intercultural Center is. It's a place where we just kind of get along and sit down, chill, talk about anything, but they have 5 main clubs there, and I'm part of 2 of them.
And what do ASA and BSU stand for?
Sorry. ASA is African Student Association, and BSU is Black Student Union.
We love acronyms around here, so and Adam's right. There's lots of free stuff around, so head out there. If nothing else, there's bowls of candy and all that good stuff too.
Like our students touched on, there are clubs that specifically relate to your major. Like he mentioned, Athletic Training Club, and there's the College of Business Club, Student Education Association. So things talking about what's going on in the field, and then there's a bunch of fun ones to get involved with, just like Mo and Tove had mentioned.
Great. Chelsea, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I was also going to mention it's not necessarily a club, but intramural sports is something great to get involved in. We have multiple basketball, softball, sand volleyball, all kinds of intramural sports that you can get involved in. Still, I mean, you can be an NCAA athlete, but not in intramurals. It's not as competitive, but it's still competitive and fun. So.
Great. So we're talking a lot about on-campus activities, and there's a lot of clubs, there's activities. You've got athletic events, you've got bands, choirs, speakers coming in. There's lots to do on campus, but what are some of your favorite things to do off campus? Maybe your favorite place to go, just something to go and spend an afternoon doing, or maybe a weekend, things like that.
So for me and my friends, especially when it's the winter time, there's a place to go tobogganing. I don't remember how far away it is, but it's over by like Trine University, and you can go tobogganing, and you can get like a sled, and it's like 40 pounds, and you can just hike it up a little mountain thing, and then you go down really fast, and it's fun. We've also gone ice skating before, so we're gonna go here after my roommate comes back from Jan term because she's in Jamaica right now. So we're gonna go ice skating eventually. So we do different things, and that would be like in Fort Wayne area. But I don't know, we just do different things. It just depends if you want to get out and do things.
Most weekends for me and my friends, we have a friend living in Fort Wayne who used to come here but couldn't come here this year. So we kind of go there a lot for go-kart racing, and we go to Huntington for movies. Sometimes we go to Mainview, which is a really good eatery in town, and they have the best steak. Like they really do. They have the best steak. But that's one of the things you can do. And we have this really cool antique shop also in town. You can find almost anything there, and it's like things you really want to get for some reason or the other. But there's just things you can do like around town, see things, or yeah.
My favorite local restaurant is El Mesquite. It's Mexican.
All right. Uh, we have a question here that came in. So what is the first week on campus like? And sort of a follow-up with that, who do you sit with for lunch? That was always the challenge in high school. You have your group of friends, you all sit together. This is a whole new thing. Who are you going to sit with that first day?
So what happens our first week here is based on one of our classes that we have on Manchester, you get put into a group with all your classmates. Usually you go around talking about the university, what activities there are, but also they'll usually eat for lunch, so you will most likely always have someone to eat, people to eat with. It's not usually a problem.
Yeah.
For me, my first week was without the rest of the school because I had to come in a week early. So they would wake us up at like 8 in the morning. Like everyone had to be at breakfast together and everyone had to be at lunch together. So it was a good way to like, I guess, break down your shy. And then when school actually started, you found people and you're like, hey, I used to sit with you. We're gonna sit together again. How about that?
What was it like for you, Chelsea, coming in from the West Coast on Oregon all the way out here and making friends right away?
Like I mentioned before, I had been in contact with a few incoming students on Manchester's social media for first or incoming students. But the SOL group, which stands for Student Orientation Leader, but we kind of just call it SOL for our whole freshman orientation, you get to know that group of about 20 incoming students really well. You're doing everything with them the first week. And for me personally, they became my best friends all through college. And I'm still friends with a lot of them. So the first probably semester, our SOL group ate together every meal pretty much. So finding friends to eat with, not a problem, especially if you're involved in your SOL group. So
The residence halls also do a lot of programming during that first week, so they'll do a lot of programs with your floor or the whole residence hall. So you'll be able to eat with people like your roommate or people who live on your floor or maybe in your residence hall. So you don't have to just eat with your SOL group, but there are more options and more people to hang out with too.
Great. We're talking a lot about making friends and these connections, but how do you balance the academic side of college, which is why you're here, with the social life and with making friends and everything?
So for me, being an athlete, I thought it was going to be really hard to balance, school and then like doing clubs and organizations and like hanging out and stuff like that. But definitely there's always time for everything, but you have to be really well on your time management skills. So for like basketball season especially, because it's a long season. It's from like October till like February. Sometimes you had to do homework on the bus, or like maybe you couldn't hang out that weekend because you had a game, but you could always have Sunday to hang out. So you just have to figure out to what battles you're gonna take on. And if you have an exam that week, maybe you're not gonna hang out so much because you need that good grade because you are here for academics.
Okay, so personally, I'm terrible at like time management skills. I need help. So my first year, I actually went to the Success Center and I asked people to help me create a schedule, like when to study and when to relax or chill with my friends, when to go to class. Everything was on that paper. If it wasn't on that paper, I wouldn't do it. That's how I was. So definitely there are people here who can help you out in the Success Center to get your time scheduling skills in check in case you're bad like me. But if you're like Mo, then everything can be easy.
One of my biggest pieces of advice is get a planner. I know that sounds really silly, but mark stuff down in your calendar. There's Manchester ones over in the bookstore, and they actually give you like 10% off on certain days. So definitely buy one of those. It's only like $10. Write stuff down, write homework down. That's a great way to start keeping yourself on track.
I know personally what I do is I use my cell phone. I will take it out and I will put it in my cell phone because I'm on my cell phone all the time. I will look at my phone so I know what to do at this time. And usually professors don't really have a problem with you taking out to like quickly put something on.
Yeah. Post-it notes are like my best friend. Literally, if you would walk into my dorm room, I have a mirror and everything that, like, if I have an exam or I have to work, or like today I had this Google thing that we're doing right now. I have a post-it note telling me what time it's at, and then like when I get it done, I shred it up and throw it away. So it's like my system. It's amazing. It's crazy. But they have free post-it notes, like Tobey was saying at the Success Center. So I always just snatch a bunch of them, and then I'm good to go.
Oh, that's a few different options, yeah. Uh, Adam, do you just use the calendar on your phone, or do you use a specific app to help you out?
I do use the calendar on my phone. I will pull it up, and usually it gives me reminders. Like I set a time where it will remind me, and it'll bring up like a photo, so I like know what to do at that time.
Great. One last question here, and we'll see if there are any more questions come in. Remember, you can always submit a question using the Q&A button. Last question here, is there a central hangout place on campus, or maybe several central hangout places on campus?
I would have to say for freshmen, like normally the first couple weeks, the SAC is a really good place that everyone wants to hang out at. Like I remember when I was a freshman last year, I was like, let's go to the SAC. And the SAC is basically, it's in the basement of, what's the building's name?
Calvin Orry.
Calvin Orry, yeah. And sorry, I forgot. And it's in the basement part of it, and it stands for Student Activities Center. And so basically, you just hang out there. They have lots of beanbag chairs and free poster boards and TVs and pool tables and stuff, and it's just like a really cool hangout area. And so a lot of first years or freshmen like to go there the first couple weeks. So that's what I would say. I mean, once you get a little bit older, more times than not, like it's just hanging out maybe in your rooms or like, I don't know.
I know a lot of students will stay in the residence halls, but they will go down to like a great room or the lobby. They'll hang out there. They all have TVs. They have pool tables. They have couches to watch TV. A lot of people go down there just to hang out with other students.
So my first year, well, the first house I actually knew was the Intercultural Center. So for the most part, if not all of my first year, half of the internationals who were actually first years would just sleep in there. Like that was our hangout place. That's where we stayed. We didn't want to go back to our rooms. That was just it. That was the place. But this year, none of us go back, and now it's the first years who are there. So I think it's a line thing. Like we pass it on to you, so now you can take care of it. But during the summer, I've actually noticed that more people like to sleep or study or play music on the mall, which is like this big green grass area that we have. So that's one of the hangout places. I've actually napped on the mall, and it's amazing. Everyone should try it. It's safe.
Yeah, we had another question come in. What aspects of your college transition went well, and what were a challenge for you? This is a thinker.
So for me, classes and getting to know people, that really went smoothly. Like, it was very smooth. That was one of my fears, and it was really simple and easy. But something that didn't go well was the culture shock, because I had people trying to tell me what to do. Like, well, one of the really simple ones that I like to tell everyone is calling older people by their names, which I don't do. Like, we don't do that back home. It's always uncle or sir or ma'am or something of that sort. But here it's okay to call people by their names, and they actually kind of enforce it, like, call me by name. And I'm like, no, it's okay, maybe tomorrow. But the culture shock was definitely one of them, but everything else went pretty well.
The transition for me wasn't too bad. I mean, I'm a pretty independent person, so like going off to college, I was like, yes, let's go. I get to be away from mom and dad. Don't have to share a room with my sister, you know. But so it wasn't too bad. And when I was like my senior year, my best friend lived with me, so that was a little different. So having the roommate experience wasn't really like a big shock to me, so the transition wasn't hard. Like I've kind of experienced it already, kind of. So I didn't have any problems. I think if anything, the transition was just making more friends, and just having more collective people to hang out with, and just kind of that.
Um, like Mo said, her roommate, she did a lot of stuff with her. My roommate, I had a random last year. He was actually a junior, so he already had a lot more friends on campus. So I met a lot of them. So that got me more, maybe transition better into the campus. So I knew more people at that time.
I think one of the things that students are most nervous about is that transition, because you go from having classes at high school from 8 to 2 p.m. and then you have to kind of figure it out. So kind of going back to some of the things we've already discussed, just kind of figuring out what's the schedule, what works for you, when should I study, when should I go, well, you should go to class when they're scheduled, but just figuring out that schedule that you have.
Okay, another question came in. So for Chelsea and Leslie, since you've already graduated, do you still stay in touch with the friends you made in college?
Yes. Some of the friends that I made in college are some of the best friends I do have. I have an upcoming wedding this summer, and there's several Manchester people on that list because they did have a very important part in my life and during my college time. So I'm excited to reunite with some of them. I text a lot of them weekly, some even daily. So I'm excited to get together with a lot of them this summer.
Absolutely, they're some of the best friends that I have ever had, and actually moved back to Oregon right after graduation, and I missed the Manchester community, and I just, even though they don't live in North Manchester still, most of my friends, they're in the Indiana area, and I'm like, all right, I got to move back, I got to be a part of their lives again, but yeah, even my friends who graduated from Manchester, some of them are in Arizona, North Carolina, Florida, so just all over the place, and I still keep in contact with them at least weekly. So really, really awesome connections that I made and awesome friendships.
And I'll agree as well. Yeah, I mean it's a different type of connection than you have in high school because you're living right there with them. You spend more time together. You develop deeper relationships. It's a type of thing that you'll be surprised. The first few years of college, you'll probably drift away from a lot of high school friends, but years away from college, you're still going to be great friends. I can say that as someone who graduated quite a bit longer ago than Chelsea and Leslie. So yeah, I mean, this is, if we don't have any more questions, if you're listening live here, thank you for being involved. If you're watching later, thanks for giving us a watch. Just want to leave with a few things here. If you have not yet applied and you're just watching this to learn more about Manchester, you can apply for free anytime at applynow.manchester.edu. It's a free application. We also are on the Common App. If you have not visited yet, you can go ahead to visit.manchester.edu. Come see campus. For a lot of people, that's a big deal. You want to be able to see where your next home is. If you're already accepted and you're watching this, get involved in the chat. It's our community for accepted students. It's a great way to meet new people, maybe meet your roommate, and you'll see some of these same faces on there. And then, you know, if you're watching here recently, right now it's January 14th, which means it's FAFSA time here in the U.S. So if you have not filed your FAFSA, make sure to do that soon and list Manchester using the code 001820. Any last thoughts from everybody?
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Great. Well, thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for hosting. And we hope to see everyone around campus here soon. Have a great evening.